In this video I will demonstrate how to access the USB charging port and replace it on a Zip Series golf cart. So we'll begin with the tools. I have a Phillips head attachment in a power drill and just another Phillips head screwdriver handheld. Also just a piece of cardboard that I can use to put the screws back into their same position that I took them out from. So we'll start off by removing the speed controller out of the top box. So there's the 4 outside screws that need to be removed. Okay, so that allows me to pop this out of position. You'll notice that there is a ribbon on the inside that you can just lightly dislodge with your fingers, and we can put this to the side. Now I'll move on to the LCD display, the top box, which is 2 screws in the back. Just putting them into the foam, into the cardboard. So now what I'll do is just move this over so you can see, lock that in here. This is your LCD display, your top box here, and we've got the connections here that need to be disconnected. So you have your USB charging port, positive and negative, then you have the speed controller and the stem cable. Now this may vary for the model, but it's basically the same principle. So we'll remove this top box, put that to the side, and then I'll put this back over as it was before. Now I'll focus on removing the casing. So we'll start off with the handle grips. There's 2 screws on either side. I'll just put those screws into the grip itself. Okay, so now I'll focus on the 4 screws on the outside of the back plate. And then the 2 center screws. Okay, so now I can separate the back plate from the top plate, like so, and then just gently maneuvering these wires out of the way. So you'll notice here, this is your USB charging port, which is just held in with 3 screws. So this can be removed by hand screwdriver if you wish. It's a bit lighter and a bit easier to control. Okay, so that's the 3 screws that hold this USB charging port in position, which will allow you to just remove, and you can replace with a new one. So just the only way that can go in is the same way, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the holes here. So you just slide the replacement in so it sits in position, and then fasten the PCB with the 3 screws. Again, I just find it a bit easier with a handheld screwdriver for this area. It's just a bit lighter and a bit easier to handle. Just until firm. Okay, so that's the 3 screws for the USB charging port back into its position, nice and firmly in place there. Okay, so now we'll reassemble the back plate to the top box, just ensuring this cable stays in position. You'll see that there's a loop here. That loop needs to be around this centerpiece of the cable. So as long as that stays there, just feed. What I'd also do is just feed these basically so they're out of the way a little bit. So what I'll do, actually I'll feed it through this way. Feed it through the center here, and then, not sure if you can see through there, but you can line up the bottom so it sits in position, and then you just feel it click into place. And if you have any issues, just flip it over like so, and have a look for the wiring. Make sure the wiring's in good position, which all of this is all okay, and then clips in like so, like that, and then you can fasten everything back up, and just ensuring that none of the wires are getting pinched or they're in the way. So we'll start by tipping this back over again, and I'll start by reversing the process. And when I put these screws in, I can feel it already go all the way through. It's not pinching any cable, and that allows me to freely tighten back up into position. Again, just nice and soft. You don't need to do it too tight when you refit these screws, and just following the same pattern that they were taken out, so the cardboard screws match up with where you took them from. Okay, next I will install the LCD, the top box LCD display. So we have here the stem cable. These could all have different size connections, so they can't get mixed up. So you have the cable there, USB port, and stem cable, the speed controller. Okay, and just a twist, and you'll see that you're lining up these two holes, if you can see these two holes here, with these two parts here. So just tucking any cables that might be a bit loose out of the way, and then sitting the top box back into its housing, like so. We can then just hold it in position, and we can fasten these screws. So one here, and a second, like so. And then we'll install the speed controller. So again, starting with this ribbon here, you can just align the ribbon with its port. Not sure if you can see in there. And then pressing it in with your finger till it's in position, and then tucking this ribbon behind the little screw port here, so just so it doesn't get caught up on anything. Might just use a little screwdriver, just push that out of the way, and then you can just install the speed controller like that. Again, you'll feel if you have pinched any cable or anything like that, it won't go in properly, but if it's going in nice and smooth, then you should be fine. These 4 screws just to install that speed controller into its position. And the handle grips. And there it is, your new port installed on your Zip Series golf cart. Thanks for watching.